Ladies and gentlemen, let me paint you a picture, a snapshot frozen in time. There they are, still standing on the same ground, rooted in the same place where you walked away. Their faces unchanged, their hearts unchallenged, their minds unaltered. Time has moved on. The world has spun forward. But they're still in that pit you left them in, that place where they were left to wither and rot. They thought you would come back, didn't they? They thought that somehow, some way, you would return to offer them the justice they thought they were owed. They waited and waited. The years stretched like endless roads under their feet, each day a dull repetition of despair. But here's the truth they can't face. You've moved on. You've left them there, abandoned to their fate. And the most bitter pill they swallow every day is the realization that they'll never rise from that pit. Not on their own. Not unless you decide to pull them out, but you won't. And that's the best part. That's where the power lies. Revenge is a childish game played by the weak-hearted. Those who seek it are the ones who can't move forward, the ones who remain chained to their anger, shackled by their need to see others hurt. But you are better than that. You see, revenge implies a desire to put someone on your level. It implies that you're still tied to them, still concerned with their fate, still watching them, waiting for the moment when you can deliver your vengeance. But you've already left them behind. They're still stuck in that pit, still pretending to climb out of it, still fooling themselves into believing they can rise to your level, to become someone you would even consider. But they can't. Not anymore. You see, you've already won. Your escape was their defeat. Your freedom was their imprisonment. And what they failed to realize, what they can never truly understand, is that you didn't need to do anything. You didn't need to raise a finger, didn't need to cast any spell or make a move. All you had to do was walk away. You left them in the dust, and that was the worst thing you could do to them. Because they can't follow. They'll never catch up. They're stuck, forever and always, in the miserable pit you left them in. Every time they try to climb, they find that the walls grow higher. Every time they think they can make it out, they realize the opening at the top is getting smaller, the air growing thicker. And all the while, you walk on, you thrive, you rise, you build your empire on the foundation of their mistakes, their misdeeds, their ignorance. They thought they could break you, but they were wrong. They underestimated you. They didn't know who you were. They didn't see the strength inside you, the fire you carry in your soul. You didn't need to fight back because you had already won the battle the moment you walked away. Think of their faces now. Think of how they must look when they realize they will never catch up. That feeling in their chest, the one that twists and churns like a knife, digging deeper each day. Do you see it? Do you feel the satisfaction? You see, revenge can't bring that kind of peace. It can't give you that sense of dominance, that sense of finality. No, revenge is nothing more than a brief, fleeting taste of power. But knowing they're still stuck, still suffering in that same old mess, that's a victory that never fades. That's the kind of power that lasts a lifetime. Why would you lower yourself to their level? Why would you go back to drag them out of the mess they created for themselves? You owe them nothing at all, and they know it. That's why they scream into the void, why they lash out in desperation. But no matter how loud they get, no matter how much they cry, the reality is that you are the one in control now. They are your echoes, forever reverberating through the void, but they will never, ever catch up. Now think about what happens next. You see, the pit is no longer just a hole in the ground. It's not just a place of despair. It's become their prison, their entire world. And the longer they remain there, the more it becomes their identity. They don't know how to live outside of that pit anymore. They are defined by their misery, by the failure to rise above, by their inability to break free. They walk through life wearing the chains of that failure, and the harder they struggle, the more tightly those chains bind them. And you move through the world like a shadow in the wind, elusive, untouchable, powerful. You're no longer a part of their story. You don't need to be. The moment you left, the moment you stepped out of their world, you became something they could never understand. You became a force that couldn't be contained, a force that will never be broken. They can fight all they want. They can claw at the walls of their pit, but it won't matter. They can never touch you. And that's the beauty of it. That's where your strength lies. You don't need to seek revenge. You don't need to give them the satisfaction of thinking they still matter. They don't. And that's why you can let them be. Let them stew in their own misery. Let them rot in that pit, because they will never escape it. Every day, every moment they spend in that hole is a reminder of how they failed to break you, of how they will never be able to. It's their punishment, and it's worse than anything you could ever do to them. They thought they could control you, didn't they? They thought they could bring you down to their level, break your spirit, crush your will. But you were never theirs to control. You were never part of their game. The moment you walked away, you became free. And that freedom is something they will never taste. So don't waste your time on them. Don't waste your energy wondering what might have been or what you could have done. You did the hardest thing of all. You let them go. And that is what will haunt them forever. You didn't need to prove anything. You didn't need to fight back. You didn't need to seek revenge. You let them stay stuck in their misery, and that is the greatest punishment they could ever face. Now, you have a choice. You can keep moving forward, or you can go back. Try to pull them out. Try to save them from themselves. But know this: if you go back, you're only chaining yourself to their failure. You're only dragging yourself down into their pit. And the moment you take your first step back into that hole, you'll start to lose the power that comes with walking away. Don't make that mistake. Don't fall for the lie that you owe them anything. You don't. Let them stay stuck in their pit. Let them drown in their own regret, their own bitterness, their own anger. They will never be you. They will never have what you have. You have strength. You have clarity. You have peace. They have nothing but the memory of the person you once were, the person who walked away, the person who left them behind. Revenge won't give you peace. Revenge won't give you power. But walking away, leaving them to face the consequences of their own actions, that is a power they will never, ever understand. And that is where your true victory lies. See, the truth is, revenge is a trap. It pulls you back into the chaos. It wraps you up in the mess, in the drama, in the very thing that hurt you in the first place. When you seek revenge, you are inviting that person, that situation, back into your life. You are reopening the wounds, revisiting the very place you fought so hard to escape from. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to re-enter the battlefield when you've already won the war? Think of the energy, the time, the mental and emotional effort you would expend if you decided to pursue revenge. It's draining, it's exhausting, and in the end, it won't change anything. That person won't suddenly understand the depths of your pain. They won't suddenly feel the weight of the wrongs they did to you. In fact, in most cases, revenge only deepens the rift between you and them. It locks you into a cycle of anger and resentment that does nothing but hold you back. The truth is, if you engage in revenge, you're not punishing them. You're punishing yourself. The real power lies in letting them stew in their own guilt, their own mistakes. Let them face the consequences of their own actions. When you walk away, you send a message far louder than any act of revenge ever could. You send the message that you are not to be trifled with. You show them that you don't need to stoop to their level. You're better than that. And let's not ignore the fact that revenge, in its essence, is about control. It's about wanting to dominate, to force someone to feel what you felt, to break them the way they tried to break you. But you don't need control. You don't need to break them. Why? Because they are already broken. They are already trapped in the pit of their own making. The moment you walked away, you freed yourself. The moment you walked away, you took back your power. They are stuck in that pit. Think about it. Their world is shrinking. They are suffocating in the consequences of their own actions. They may try to project strength, try to fool themselves into thinking they are okay. But deep down, they know. They know they will never get back what they lost. They know that their chances with you are gone. They know they are running out of time to fix what they destroyed. And no amount of revenge on your part could give them that opportunity back. What's even worse for them, what truly cuts to the bone, is that they will never understand why you walked away. They will never fully grasp the weight of their own mistakes. They will wonder, day in and day out, why you didn't fight back, why you didn't seek retribution. And every day they spend questioning that, they lose a little more of themselves. The pain of not knowing, the hurt of not understanding, will eat them from the inside out, and there's no way for them to escape it. And then there's the peace you'll have. Oh, the peace. You might not think of it at first, but it's the most beautiful thing in the world. When you walk away, when you leave them to deal with their own mess, you're not just freeing yourself from their grasp, you're also freeing your mind, your heart, your soul from the chains of bitterness and anger. You're no longer weighed down by thoughts of revenge, by plans to make them suffer, by fantasies of making them feel the same pain you felt. All of that becomes irrelevant when you realize that your peace, your serenity, your happiness is far more valuable than anything they could ever give you. Think about it. How many times have you caught yourself in a cycle of thoughts about them, wondering if they would ever pay for what they did to you? How many times have you lost sleep over the injustice, over the hurt? That's what revenge does. It locks you into a toxic loop where you're constantly obsessing over someone who isn't worth your time. It takes away your focus. It steals your energy, and it destroys your ability to move forward. But when you walk away, when you leave them behind, you take back that energy. You take back that focus. You take back your life. You get to write your own story now. They're no longer a part of it. There is a sense of liberation that comes with walking away from those who have wronged you. You are no longer tied to them. You no longer owe them anything. They have no claim over you. They can scream, they can beg, they can try to make you feel guilty, but in the end, it will mean nothing, because you are free. Free from the chains of anger, free from the need to see them suffer, free to live the life you deserve. What they don't understand is that they were the architects of their own downfall. They built the pit they're now stuck in, and when you walked away, you gave them the most merciless punishment of all. You left them alone in it. You didn't rescue them. You didn't try to fix them. You didn't try to rebuild what they broke. You just walked away, and in doing so, you exposed them for what they truly are: weak, incapable, and lost. They thought they were in control, thought they were the ones calling the shots, but you proved them wrong. You were always in control. You were always the one who held the power. But here's the beauty of it. You don't need to gloat. You don't need to rub their noses in their defeat. You don't need to say a word, because your silence, your absence, speaks volumes. It shows them that you've moved on, that you are beyond them, beyond their reach, beyond their drama. That, my friend, is the greatest victory of all. The truth is, the moment you walk away from someone who has wronged you, you become a force of nature. You become unstoppable. And they are left floundering in their own mistakes. They are left with nothing but the ruins of the world they destroyed. And no matter how hard they try, they can never go back and fix it. They can never undo what they did. And in that knowledge, you hold the ultimate power. So, as you stand there looking back at them, remember this. Your walking away is the greatest punishment you could give them. Your decision to leave them in that pit is the final chapter in their story. They will never be able to recover. They will never rise to your level. They will always be haunted by the knowledge that they could have had you, but they lost you. And now, they will never get you back. That is their fate, not yours. Your story is just beginning. You are no longer tied to the past, no longer chained to what they did to you. You are free to rise, free to soar, free to live the life you've always wanted. And that, my friend, is the greatest revenge of all. In the end, remember this. Revenge is fleeting. It's a momentary satisfaction that fades with time. But walking away, truly walking away, is eternal. It's peace, it's power, it's freedom. And that is something they will never understand, because they are still stuck in the pit you left them in, and you are standing tall, walking forward, and claiming the life you deserve.